The Admiral versus Yonko debate is over. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy G7, and I was looking in the comment section of one of my previous One Piece videos, and I seen that someone stated that the Admirals are able to match the Yonko. When I read this, I thought to myself that no the fuck they cannot. And not only can they not do it, but it's shown throughout the story that whenever we see an Admiral get somewhat compared to a Yonko, they get embarrassed. And I proceeded to use an example with red hair Shanks. Now, the person who left this comment also stated that Shanks is different, which I must say that I agree with him with that. Shanks, in my honest opinion, might be the strongest pirate currently in the verse. But for this kind of discussion, I don't need to use Shanks, to be honest with you. I'll bring up some of his accolades at the end, but let's go all the way back to Whitebeard in the pre-time skip. Whitebeard, when he was an old man who was not using his proper medication when he pulled up to Marineford, the same Whitebeard who got stabbed up by an attack that his crewmates believed that he should have been well aware of, that very same Whitebeard faced against 3 Admirals. When he faced off against Aokiji, the fight got interrupted by Diamond Jozu, a commander. For somebody who could tangle with a Yonko, who could hang with the Yonko, why is a mere commander able to hold you back? But anyways, let's proceed to Kizaru. What happened to Kizaru versus Whitebeard? They had a few scuffles here and there. You see a little bits and pieces where Kizaru was able to get a hit off on Whitebeard, but for the most part, he was mainly focused on Marco. Marco was holding off Kizaru, which is another commander. So we're seeing two Admirals at the time being held back by 2 commanders. Interesting. Then we have Sakazuki, who is the exception to the rule. He's the only one where the commanders could not intervene in a fight between him and Whitebeard. He's the only one who was able to get a fair one-on-one against Whitebeard. And we've seen how that fight took place. He got his ass cooked. Sakazuki could not hang with Whitebeard, especially when he got serious. The second ace got taken out, Whitebeard did not give a fuck, and he actually put his ass to the bottom of the ground. And I know it may not look like Whitebeard obviously won that fight because, well, we could see here that he lost half his face. It wasn't an easy matchup, but at the end of the day, this is a very weakened Whitebeard at the time. If he was in his prime or somewhat in better shape in his old age, he probably would have just whooped them all, to be honest with you. In all honest, none of the Admirals, in my opinion, will be able to hang with Whitebeard. And I know some people say, well, Whitebeard's the strongest man. But this Whitebeard was old and weak. This very same Whitebeard, in my honest opinion, was the weakest Yonko at the time. That's why Kaido was so amped up and ready to go over to Marineford to whoop his ass. Those are my examples with using Whitebeard. But do I need to go with the oldest Yonko at the time? Or should I go with the current day youngest Yonko at the time? Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy just had his first showing against an Admiral while he's been a Yonko. And we saw how that fight took place. He was goofing around. The most he did with Kizaru for the most part was throw his ass in the water, which is fine and dandy. But then we seen that Saturn did a transformation and everybody got it nervous. Everybody started taking it seriously. Luffy teed the fuck up. Luffy finally used an actual named attack. Luffy used one of the attacks they used on Kaido, another Yonko, on Kizaru. And what was Kizaru's reaction to getting that crazy ass punch to the face? I'm seeing stars. Are these stars? In the official Viz translation, Kizaru is done. I'm not gonna say done because it's not confirmed that he's knocked out or anything, but we can at the very least say that Luffy won that fight. Kizaru went flying to the other buildings, and I know he's heavily damaged after taking a punch like that. And I think this was the first attack Luffy used that had any Conqueror's Haki infusion at all against Kizaru, or any Haki period, to be honest, because the most we seen Luffy do was fight against some clones, take an attack, a light beam to the mouth, pause, and throw him in the water. This is the only direct hit Luffy was able to land, and we seen what effect that had on Kizaru. He felt that. And that's the youngest Yonko at the time. This very same Luffy that's on Gear 5. A lot of people's gonna say, but he's broken, he's this or that. This same Luffy, I think, would lose to Kaido if they both fought at their best condition. If Kaido was in full health, if he didn't get jumped by the Scabbards, if he didn't get jumped by Kid, Luffy, Law, Killer, Zoro, if he didn't get interrupted and fought by Yamato, if he didn't have to hold up the entirety of Onigashima and he was fresh fighting against this current Luffy, Luffy would lose, and the main reason is because he cannot hold Gear 5 for too long of a period. It will be just a battle of endurance. By the time he runs out of Gear 5th, Kaido will win that fight. So this version of Luffy, in my opinion, is weaker than Kaido. And we seen what Kizaru said when Sakazuki was talking about Wano. He was confident, talking as if he could go there himself and fight Kaido. Which, if we could tell by his showcase against Luffy, hell no. But what other showcase we have? Because I'm not gonna lie, Kizaru fought against a lot of characters outside of just the Yonko. Kizaru fought against Rayleigh, an old man Rayleigh. This is the Dark King. And they was in a stalemate. Rayleigh was able to hold him off, just like how the other commanders in Marineford was able to hold him off. And this very same Rayleigh came in contact with Blackbeard, and he stated that he doubt he would actually be able to put up a fight against Blackbeard. He's pretty sure he would lose that fight against a Yonko who was claiming to be scared of him, and he still think he would lose that. What does that say? Rayleigh was able to tangle and hold back Kizaru, but he didn't even want to fight against Blackbeard. So what does that mean? He views Blackbeard, a Yonko, to be on a higher stature than Kizaru, an Admiral. But I digress. What else? Oh, Ben Beckman. Yo, I know Ben Beckman only pointed his gun at Kizaru, but guess what? He did the very same thing that the commanders did to the Admirals. What they always do. They hold them back. Ben Beckman temporarily stopped Kizaru from pursuing after Luffy in Law. That was his job. That was his point. If these guys are able to match the Yonko, why are the commanders always fighting them? Why is the commanders always holding them back? Why can't they just easily get through the commanders and go to the freaking Yonko like Sakazuki? We've seen in the end of Marineford, both Marco and Jinbei try to stop Sakazuki, and guess what happened? Nothing, they couldn't. Sakazuki's the only exception to the rule, and even he lost to old man Whitebeard. He's the fleet admiral, so of course you expect the most out of him. Now then we have Green Bull. Green Bull had a great showing against the commanders. He took out both King and Queen. But then again, we gotta remember, Marco also was fighting King and Queen at this very same time. So in my honest opinion, I view the commanders to admirals, like their skill gap between those two being the same skill gap that's between the admirals to Yonkos. The same way a commander can hold off an admiral is the same way an admiral could somewhat hold off a Yonko. They could temporarily do it, but at the end of the day, the second that Yonko takes a small little chance, if they give him a little glimpse of their actual strength and take the fight seriously, the admirals are gonna lose, honestly. Like, we even seen Marco try to hold off against Big Mom, and Big Mom just said, "You're annoying," but he couldn't do anything. He couldn't win, but he could distract her. But anyways, now that I got through all that, let's talk about Shanks. the real reason why Yonko are above the Admiral. Shanks, even in the next episode in One Piece, or the next couple episodes, we're gonna see Shanks being miles away, hundreds of miles, thousands of miles away from Wano, scare off Green Bull, the same dude who took out both King and Queen, who fought against the Scabbards, who fought against Yamato, who fought against Momonosuke in his dragon form, the same dude who was all about the smoke, ready to fight everybody in Wano. Shanks scared that nigga off with just a little bit of hockey from miles away. The Wi-Fi hockey signals shook Green Bull to his boots to the point where he left. That's all he had to do. That's not a great showing for the Admirals, I'm not gonna lie. Another example, in One Piece Film Red, we've seen Shanks versus Kizaru. A lot of people will like to say, but it's a movie, it's not canon. But Shanks' showcase of strength, his abilities in that movie are canon. He easily took out Kizaru. Not take him out, but he stopped him. He used a light beam attack or whatever on Shanks. He just slapped that shit out his way. He just ricocheted out the way. And he went directly to Kizaru. He speed blitzed the dude who's supposedly light speed and stopped him. Put the sword to his throat and just stopped the whole fight. We've seen both Kizaru and Fujitora getting ready to confront Shanks after Yuta passed out. And what happened? Shanks used that freaking King's Conqueror's hockey and shook them both to the core. Had vice admirals shaking in their boots fainting. Regular admirals understanding that we are no match. We cannot hang. We are not ready for this fight. In every instance that we get, we see in the story, admirals do not compare to the Yonko. They are able to hold them off a little bit. They're able to distract them like commanders are able to distract the admirals. But at the end of the day, if the Yonkos get serious, they're getting fucked up. Sorry, just saying, like, that's like, what more? Like, I can't think of any showing of an admiral where I could think, oh, they're equal to Yonko. They're not. They can't do it. They can't beat the sorry. I think that's a sign for me to shut the hell up. Anyways, guys, if you guys like the video, then please make sure you leave a like, comment, and share. If you guys have a differing opinion in mind, then please leave it in the comment section. And also, the person who actually wrote that comment in my video, I was gonna reply to you with all this, but I just wanted to make it a video because I'm not gonna lie, I love talking about One Piece, and I want to get all my thoughts within a good video. Like, this video is over 10 minutes. I couldn't write all this down in the comment section. So if you guys have any disagreements, feel free to comment it in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you want more content like this one. And yeah, man, the Yonko, yo, son, the admirals don't have a chance. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace out.